Yay, I am live here. It is a beautiful day at the meeting place of heaven and earth, and I am at the Shastina Golf Course, making sure that my stream is running. I saw a red bar start to shoot across my screen, so hopefully everything is okay. I am here with Sage, and I am really excited because I'm waiting on some French fries that should be really tasty. I went to the high-low like yesterday or the day before with Kyle and Sage, and I ordered French fries, and I asked them to be extra crispy, and they weren't. So this is hopefully going to make up for them. But anyways, hopefully you are doing well. I'm glad that you could join. I kind of wanted to just touch base with you guys. Yes, French fries, please. Yes. I wanted to touch base with you and also talk about, hi Kyle, talk about the full moon celebration that I just had on Wednesday, and also talk about something that was really fun that happened at the park yesterday. So I'm not really in a rush today, but as most of you know, I did have the full moon celebration, and I was actually really happy that it turned out the way that it did. Sometimes there's like a really big crowd up there and it's just really overwhelming, and a lot of people just banging on drums and carrying all night. Well, thankfully, the anti-Inanna faction went around and basically rounded everybody up and told them to come down to their event that was down the hill. And, you know, it's funny to me because they think that, like, they won in doing that, and I'm just like, thank you. Like, thank you for not coming up here and causing a problem. You made it actually really easy for me to win in what I was actually trying to do, which was being in that spot on Mount Shasta and having complete control. Like, I was the one that was in control of that space. What I set out as the rules was what happened. And, you know, there was only one person that I would probably label as, you know, a provocateur. I'm not really sure. I don't have confirmation, but honestly, they seemed like they were on meth. Like, they were just real hyper and tweaky type person. And they did at one point to try to pass out non-vegan candy. I was like, wait a second, what is that? Like, then okay, it was a bag with multiple different kinds of candy in it. So it had like gummy worms, it had Laffy Taffy, and I actually heard gummy worms. So that's what like set me off. I'm just like, I know almost for a fact that those aren't vegan. So let's hold on. What are you about to pass out around my circle? And then as soon as I said what's in it, the clown, yeah, they look at the package and they're like, oh, the only thing in this is soy. I'm like, how could you make Laffy Taffy out of soy only? That doesn't make any sense. Like, there has to be at least like sugar and flavoring in it, right? Like, there soy. So I get up and look at the ingredients list, and he was skipping it to the bottom line. You know how it has like wheat and dairy and stuff bold at the bottom? He skipped over all the other ingredients. It's like the first ingredient is corn syrup. So how are you going to say that's only soy in here? Like, anyways, so I told him, like, please don't pass out the candy. If you have to eat it, just go away from the circle. And thankfully, my command was followed, so it didn't have to escalate from there. So yes. Kyle, I am not drinking green tea. I'm actually drinking, like Sage said, Earl Grey black tea. So yeah. My favorite kind of green tea is the lemongrass spearmint. I don't really particularly like regular green tea, and I think that might be what they have here. So anyways, yeah, the event actually, like I was saying, it went really well. Everybody loved my food, and I got to set up my new lights. Kyle, thank you for helping me as well. I bought these solar LED lights, as most of you have already seen, probably in the picture that I posted on Facebook, to go over my buffet, and I'm like super stoked about it. You can see I'm really happy. So that was really cool. And since the night was more mellow, not a bunch of people like sitting around making a bunch of noise, it was really cool because a lot of people, Kyle and another guy named Hoot, another guy, I think his name was Toby, I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of people got to actually stand up and read poetry and share their writings with everybody, and, you know, have a completely different experience than they would have had at the bottom of the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, you had this CIA acid cult of, inverted clowns passing out acid and just a really big loud party. And up at the top we had the vegans, where we belong. It was a really just an intimate like setting where we could actually talk to each other and get to know each other, which is my kind of event. So yeah, it was really exciting. And Kyle and Sage got to come out to the event, and that was really cool. It's always really cool to meet people that I've only met online, especially, flat earth truthers. How cool is that? And even more than just flat earth truthers, vegans at that. Like, I could actually go out to eat with people and not be worried that they're going to order a baby sandwich. Like that just is so exciting. I can't even describe to you in words, because, when people try to come here and meet me, it's like, where could I even take you that you're not going to put me in a situation that, is compromising to my morals. Like, if you ordered a baby sandwich, I'm going to either have to get up or flip the table. And it's like, either one is just not a good situation. So let's just avoid that altogether. So yeah, I'm really excited about how everything went. And is there anything that you have to say about the event?
I think it went very well. And yeah, it was definitely trolling you.
The guy on the method, yeah. He brought out, when they said something about a guitar, I was like pretty excited that he was going to play. He was actually a really good guitar player. He could not carry a tune in a bucket. Like the noise that was coming out of his mouth, we definitely could have done without, but the guitar playing was definitely on point. I'm a judgmental vegan, sorry. Or I was going to say vegan, but I'm a judgmental vegan and judgmental Virgo. That's what I am. So I heard him say something about a guitar, and then the next thing I know, he's plugging in an electric guitar with an amp, like on Mount Shasta. And it's like, we're kind of sitting around in the circle in it's like a quiet, peaceful, like it would have been an appropriate thing to break out an acoustic guitar or something, but it's just like, it was totally not the right setting. So I'm just like, please, just like, you can play a song, just make sure that it's turned down, like really quiet. And it was kind of funny because I was sitting in a chair here and Kyle was sitting next to me, and this guy was standing here playing the guitar, and like over time he kept getting closer and closer to me. I'm just like, Kyle, like, I'm sorry that I'm getting over closer to you, but this guy's like on top of me playing guitar. I'm just like, dude, I need my personal space. So yeah. Anyways, that was pretty fun. Then I brought up the fact that these other people that were down the hill were CIA assets. And then this guy was like, no, he's not a CIA asset. And then I kind of explained the situation to someone else, and he's like, okay, he might be. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know how our reality is run. And like, nobody is going out and just handing out acid and then throwing whatever's left into the fire if they're not a CIA asset. Like, that's not normal human behavior at all. So yes. Dima SD could do any poetry now. By the way, black tea is the best. Thanks. If you have some poetry, go ahead and send it through. If something comes to mind, I will share it with you, but that is not exactly what I'm focused on right now. Kyle's asking, Sage, how much chess did he play? Are you talking about yesterday? Because you played chess. That one guy, there's this one guy, the first guy that came down the hill, I was like, hey, do you play chess? And he's like, yeah. And he sat down and he just kept coming back for more pain. Like, he just got whomped every game and he just kept wanting to play. And then he finally at one point asked Sage how he's doing, and Sage is like, I was just waiting for what he was going to say, because honestly, I was not playing very good chess at all. And you did say that he was playing a 2, and he definitely took it. And then Sage was like, but as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. And I'm just like, wow, who are these people that actually think that things are fun when you lose? Like, if I lose, there was no fun about it. Like, I could have had the most fun game, and then if I lose, it's like, no, it wasn't fun. That was it. But yeah, it was really fun yesterday to sit in the park in Mount Shasta City Park. There's some tables set up, and we went in and basically sat down and we're just kind of waiting for somebody else to come and sit down and play. And like I said, that first guy kept coming back for more and more fun. But the best part of the day for me was we were sitting there and this guy, let's just call him Brandon because that's his name, came up, like, was so confident. Like, you could just tell that he thought that he was like the best chess player. Like, that's the vibes that I got from him, that he just thought that he was so good. And so he was like, whose chess set is this? Well, let me just back up. We've had some issues between us. Like, it hasn't always been like we were necessarily enemies, but things have happened to get us to this point, and we're not really friends. So he had to come up to this table to play chess where I was already sitting. And so that alone kind of, you know, it's just the whole situation to me was really funny because he's like, basically, whose chess set is it? And Sage looks at me and says, you know, well, technically it's hers. And I said, well, no, it's yours because I gave it to you, right? And so Brandon had to acknowledge that the chess set, you know, was mine and that I had given it away. And, you know, that makes me look good. Not that that wasn't the purpose of me giving the chess set away. But it's just all of the backstory, having all of this situation happen just makes it really perfect. And then he sits down all confident, and then the first game that he plays, he's in a losing position. And I'm pretty sure when he tried the 3-move castle, he was castling on the weak side. Wasn't there there was one bishop on h3 or 4 or something, and he no other protection, and then he castles onto that side with it makes no sense. First of all, that I wasn't at the game. I'm pretty sure it was a really weak side to castle on. It made no sense to castle. Yeah. And then he tried to castle on the weak side, but he said that there's a special castling move where the king can actually move 3 squares. And he said to me and Sage, if you guys play online chess, the computer does it all the time. It's both of us have played a lot of online chess, and the computer never makes a mistake. They don't do things that are against the rules of chess. So it was just absolutely hilarious. The whole situation that he walks in so confidently and that there was bad blood between us. And then he gets owned the first game and wants to come back for a second game. And the second game, Sage actually used my opening and just totally, when you went and took his rook and then came back, I was I'm just so proud. At the end of the game, Brandon loses, and basically, kind of to add insult to injury, I basically patted Sage on the back. I'm so proud of you for using my opening and winning. So it's just now this guy just gets whomped and knows that that was my opening. Yeah. So that was really, really exciting for me. And I haven't been able to stop smiling and laughing about the situation because it's just really, really awesome. So yes. Kyle says it was definitely awesome learning some different strategies against you, Sage. Yes, it was really cool to watch you guys play. Dima says it's always not fun to lose. Exactly. I also grew up in a really competitive family, though, so it probably is associated with that. Even if we're playing cards at Christmas, it might get intense because who wants to lose? It's just, we're not very good at being losers. Hey, Bob, how are you? Hi, y'all. I'm joining live by chance. I'm glad to hear from you, Bob, and sorry to hear that your plans to come to Mount Shasta have changed. But if they change again in the future, definitely let me know so that we can meet up.
I forgot about your fries for $8.
That's okay.
Do you want a little more hot water? Bring you over a little more.
Thank you so much for making these crispy.
Yeah, they good?
They look nice.
Okay.
That is really exciting.
They look great.
Yeah, you have some too.
Did you show everybody? Did they see them?
Da, 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 da. Okay. They're just French fries. So yeah, that was pretty much the exciting thing that happened. The reason that I decided to say Brandon's name was because, in the Akashic record, the 3-move castle has already gone down under Brandon's name, and plus with the whole like "Let's Go Brandon" thing with Biden and all of that, I just kind of thought that it was pretty funny. I grew up in a conservative home, so the whole, basically when Trump came on the scenes, they said all of the right things, but thankfully I had already started awakening. It was like, presidents are selected, not elected. So even if this clown is saying like everything to a T, the right things, they're still on TV and they're being put there for a reason. My family is definitely into the politics and stuff as well. So yeah, they have like "Let's Go Brandon" shirts and stuff. It's like, wow, it's really sad, actually. Anyways, hopefully you guys are having a good day. I just wanted to come on and chat with you. Kyle said, "Yum, wish I was still there with you guys." Yes, they're so crispy and tasty. Could use a touch of ketchup though, especially because they're very hot right now. Just go open the door and just grab one off the table.
I was gonna do
Yes. I believe I'm going to be going down to Reading on Tuesday night. They have a meeting with the Reading Chess Club on Tuesdays at the Sweet Spot. And they actually had, the last time that I went down there, they had some really tasty vegan gelato, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. Something that was frozen that was really tasty, that was vegan. So I'm going to have that. And I plan to go live there. So hopefully you will tune in for that. Pretty excited about it. The last time that I was down there, I played this girl named Jessica, and I already told you, but I basically told her that I was going to go and get my pawn to get a queen, and then I was going to ladder her. Like, I told her what I was going to do, and she waited until I dropped the pawn on the last square to get the queen, and then zoomed her rook up. So that is basically like just a sacrifice for absolutely nothing. It was hilarious. I don't know, but yeah, that was a fun day. Kyle says, "I'm trying to just fast in hopes my burns will heal quickly." Yes, Kyle summited, I guess, Mount Black Butte or whatever, I don't know, and got some nice sunburns going on. So the view from the top, though, was beautiful. How many more days to your Facebook ban so that you can start to post some of your pictures? Kyle got in trouble for saying the T word, everybody. So take a lesson from Kyle and make sure that you use the word invert. That's funny. Just put a lot of ketchup on here. And you can put it on your side if you need to.
They're all falling.
12 or 13 days. Gotcha. I thought it was like 4 the other day. I guess I was wrong. Anyways. So yeah, we had a really good time, I would say, overall. And can't think of anything else. The full moon event was pretty uneventful, and I'm really happy that it was. Like, they definitely did me a favor by taking the crowd down to the bottom of the mountain. I got to meet quite a few really cool people, some locals around here as well, that basically I can actually chat to them and tell them why I'm doing all the full moon events and like explain to them my vision for the future. And I actually got a lot of them on board with me. So that is really exciting. Ultimately, like I say, we manifest our own reality. This world is like a blank slate. And if we can all start to dream together and have the same vision of what this picture should look like, that's when we can create a golden age, right? The powers that be that are working against us are very uniform. They're united in what they are doing. Even when they don't agree with each other on like a personal level, they are as a group working towards their new world order and putting their differences aside. Look at the truther community. Do you see any of that? No, it's not. It's like the truth. You'd think that we could unite in it, but we have all these different factions with different religions and all of this other stuff, which is understandable. That's what they try to use religions for, right? And coming from the mainstream biblical background myself, all of the things that I was learning, like flat earth and Satanists running our world and the end time stuff, it all went to solidify my beliefs in the Bible. So if I never, dug into Torah and started really researching what I was supposed to do in this religion, like actually go out and get a sheep and slaughter it. Like if I never actually dug into the Old Testament, like so many don't, then I wouldn't be where I am today. Most mainstream Christians are Pollyanity followers, Paulians, if you will, following Paul the Corrupter's own gospel rather than the gospel of the actual real Christ who they claim to follow. When you say you're a Christian, that you're saying that you follow in the path of Christ, but how many actually are? Which not enough. So yeah. Anyways, I don't necessarily have anything to say this second. Everybody's watching me eat. All right. I don't be for my bag, but I don't know. As many of you guys might already know, I am working with somebody to host a Blitz tournament in Reading, and it'll be interesting to see how it all works out because there is a talk about non-vegan foods being served, and anybody who knows me knows that I have an issue with that. So it's something that I have to work on. I might end up catering the event, which would be really cool. I wouldn't mind. It's definitely a lot of work to put on like a full moon celebration and make this huge buffet, but having people realize that they can have the same things that they love in a vegan version and kind of be tempted to the light side of the world, to be tempted into purification. It's definitely worth all of the hard work that I end up having to put into it. Like I cook for days in advance of my full moon celebrations. I make, 200 maybe mini vegan burgers. And usually I will prepare them ahead of time and then freeze them and then grill them on the mountain. I made a potato and carrot nacho cheese. I put together a raw taco bar. I have desserts and everything. So it's definitely a big shindig. And once I have more resources, it will be even bigger. So I want to demonstrate what the golden age can be like and how we can have a surplus of food and delicious vegan food and have a fun time and not have any innocents roasted on the fire. Bob says there is an assertion that Blackbeard is massive crystal disguised. Like, what is that? Okay. Disguised as a small mountain, and I suspect a power source for Telos. Kyle has his own theories about that little black boot thing as well. So you should get in touch with him because it's kind of an interesting theory. As far as Telos goes, I'm not really into these. It's really big around here, the ascended masters, which I said before, an ass-ended master. Like, not only does it say that your ass ended, which is the wrong end to be, right? But if you are in the third dimension and you're an ascended master, that means that you came from below, like you ascended to be here. I would consider myself a descended master because I know that I came from above. I descended to be where I'm at today, to be in this reality. And this reality definitely gives our souls something to do. The Gnostics, hey, Akshar, how's it going? The Gnostics say that we are gods and goddesses in human bodies. So we are, these all-powerful beings outside of this realm. We consent to having our minds wiped and being completely limited by these human vessels that we're in, and it definitely gives our souls something to do and a reason for existence. So I'm invested in continuing on the path to continue this physical reality, and that involves the golden age, and that is what I'm hyper focused on at the moment. Basically, if I don't stay focused on it and get distracted by anything, then the golden age won't happen. And for me, obviously, there's always the option of like going in the middle of the woods and getting married and having a child like in the middle of the woods away from society and all this stuff. And sure, that's great for a little while, but what happens when that child grows up and they have to go into the world? Like, you can only shelter a child for so long until they're going to want to go into the world. And I want the world that my child goes into to not be a sodomite pedo fest. Like, their new world order that they have planned for us is one where if you don't let them sodomize your children, or you don't let them sodomize your children, then you're a bigot. And they're going to take your kids away and give them to someone else from the child pimping services. They'll put them in a dress and sodomize them every day. Like, that is their ideal world, where humans are so stupid that they say pedo nonsense is okay. Age is just a number. Love is love. All of that. That's what we're fighting against. So for me, there is no other future. There's no walking away from what I'm doing and stopping. The only light at the end of the tunnel that I see is the golden age. And so that's what I have to keep my focus on and not get distracted by anything else, especially these tasty fries. Kyle says it's a mining waste pile. You'll have to post your picture that you made when you get back. You could probably, Bob's on Facebook too, so you guys could hook up on there. Probably shouldn't say hook up, but that sounds like with today's culture, it's like I'm not encouraging anybody to hook up. Hey Faith, how are you? I am doing great, thank you. What do you say about the environmental pyramid? I'm not sure what an environmental pyramid, what that means. Let's see. I've never even looked into this, or I'd have to do some more research before I could make a comment about this, because I'm really unfamiliar with the territory. Pyramid top shows the top carnivores or top predators. Well, that would physically be the Nakash snakes, which are obligate carnivores who find not only reptilians, but humans to be very tasty. And in other means, as far as energy carnivores go, those that are consuming our energy, that would be the Jinn. So Faith says, I saw your earlier video about menstruation and how women are not supposed to bleed. What are your opinions about PCOS and them using birth control to treat it? I think that everything should be treated naturally. I don't agree with any of their treatments. Everything, I can't think of like one thing, like the CPR is okay. How you wrap broken bones and stuff is good. But other than that, the way that anything in the medical industry is treated, basically, I don't agree with. And yeah, if we just have the proper diet, we're not going to have these issues in the first place. And if we've gotten ourselves to the point where we have these issues, it really depends on how severe the problem is. Because obviously, if you just go raw vegan, that is going to be the most pure way to do it. But there's some people that need more of a keto vegan regimen to deal with the stuff that they are dealing with to heal thoroughly. So it really would have to depend on the specific individual and how far along they are in their state of disease, I guess I should say. I'm sure that there are many natural plants that could do the exact same thing that they're using the birth control to do in a natural way. And that's something that we need to bring back for the future. Okay. Sounds very scary. Our groundwater will become contaminated with toxins eventually. Well,
So when I was looking at, it's explaining that
the environmental pyramid.
Yeah,
Okay.
an environmental pyramid. So
Can you guys
these
hear?
dumps.
Okay.
All right, so these dumps, these waste dumps, they've got a lining to prevent the leaking into the ground.
Underneath them?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they have to be constantly monitored. So this is supposed to be some kind of pyramid-shaped deposit like this.
Oh.
And then there'll be concrete that absorbs the toxins, preventing the contamination of our groundwater.
Yeah, so it sounds super legit. We should definitely trust exactly what the government says. No. Wow.
Triangles.
It's hard for everything to not become contaminated anyways when they're not only spraying us, but it's like, even if you think of like the CAFOs and all these disgusting like farms with these large amounts of animal waste, it's just like,
right into our water.
where is this all going? Like, that's just so disgusting. I've definitely heard rumors that like all city water is treated sewage water, and I don't want to believe that's true, but I'm really thankful that I have an underground source of water for my home, because that's gross. What's the current status on that Flint water conspiracy? I actually haven't heard anything about that for a long time, actually, Akshar. I'd have to. Is there anything new going on here? Flint water. Yeah, that pyramid thing looks real sketchy, doesn't it?
We have a huge pyramid of garbage. Sounds
Right.
good.
It's almost like you're building like a idol to it. It's like, we should all bow to the big pyramid of garbage. I'm kidding. Don't. I'm just. Anyways. To be honest, actually, I had never really looked into all the conspiracies about the Flint water crisis when it happened. But yeah, them poisoning our water, and it's not surprising at all. They poison everything. Even like, he offered me bottled water yesterday. I'm like, you're really missing out on the benefits of being in Mount Shasta, because we have, like, even at Mount Shasta City Park, there's the headwaters. It's really funny because people actually believe that the headwaters, that water that's coming out, is coming from melted snow on Mount Shasta. Like, this stream of gushing water, like just nonstop gushing water, is because of melted snow. And it's like, we've had barely any snow up there for the past few years. Like, where do you guys,
where are
like,
we seeing
it
precipitation?
makes no sense at all. But obviously we're not really taught about these underground sources of water. And, you know, they want us to think that, oh no, someday this well might run dry because there's no more snow on the mountain. So now the headwaters is gonna run dry. It's like fear porn everywhere. But I was just telling him, actually, around here, they've been deliberately causing droughts. There's multiple like smaller lakes around here that are almost completely dried up. Between here and Redding, there's Lake Shasta, I believe. And the water level, when I got here, the water was perfectly fine. It was a beautiful river or lake or whatever. And over the years, it's like the water level is so low. It's really ridiculous. But they're doing all of this on purpose. Like I was just saying earlier to Sage, they are causing this dryness, this drought, and then it's easier to light the forest on fire. Wouldn't want to go without wildfire season, would we? Can't live without it, especially if you're certain groups of people, like the government. So yeah, Dima, is that what you were talking about with the environmental pyramid, the trash thing that Sage brought up? Exar says a spring, reservoir, fountain inside the mountain. The land that we're living on, I believe, is floating on water. And the Lost Continent of Mu by James Churchward mentions these Nakal tablets that talk about this honeycomb of explosive gases being underneath the land that we're living on, and that's what's actually keeping us afloat. So if God wants to just sink an entire continent for whatever reason, like Mu or Atlantis, goodbye, just light a little bit of a fire and there goes the land. So that's pretty interesting if you ask me. But it'll be really cool when we can actually travel and learn more about this realm that we are in. I don't subscribe to any map or model specifically. I just know that we're in an enclosed realm on a stationary plane. I do like the idea of the Enoch portals. Like I already said I don't subscribe to anything yet. Obviously, I can't travel, so I don't know. But one of the Bible verses growing up, it would say like the sun rises and sets and like scurries back to the place where it rises from. And in the Enoch portal model, there could be some, the sun rising on one side and setting on the other, and then going back to the place that it rises from. Whereas, the AE map is just the sun's really not rising or setting. It's just doing a constant circle on the top. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to be able to actually travel freely and to see what the land underneath of us looks like from higher up, seeing like what the land layout looks like. And especially I look forward to going into the North Pole and seeing what North Pole, I should say, Mount Meru. Let's just name it what it is, shall we? And seeing what is there, because when humanity sees what is there, I've been told that it will definitely just destroy the spinning globe Earth model, as if everything else doesn't destroy it already. But if I were to go there and live stream from Mount Meru, my battery is dying. I've moved it from the spot that was. There it is. Ooh. No. There it is. Nope. It's so finicky. I broke my laptop charger, so I have to get it like the right. There it is. It's perfect. Thank you. Yay. Have to get it at the right. Just, anyways. That's funny. Bob says the major spring is at the city park, but there's also a spring at Panther Meadows, which you pass by while driving to the top of the old ski bowl. Yes, I agree, Bob. And actually farther up the mountain, there is a little bit of a water source up past ski bowl as well. And I really couldn't tell you where it was because I didn't really follow a path when I went up there. I kind of make my own path. So Extra says, where's Kyle? Kyle left on Friday evening. So back in Michigan. Yes, there's Kyle. He's here in the chat still. But yeah, Kyle's already making plans to come back. So it's Mount Shasta is somewhere that draws people, and when you get here, it's like a paradise that you don't want to leave. And it's like really, really cool to actually have people that are actually truthers to be here. And lots of people want to claim to be spiritual and love and light. And it's just like their version of spirituality is like dropping acid around a campfire and sleeping with everybody because that's what love means, I guess, to them. Like, no, that's not it. Bob says, I ain't never going to stop talking about my paradigm shift during my 2 visits to Mount Shasta in the summer of 2019. That is great. Dima says, oh God, I don't know how to reply to a comment, but I didn't ask you. I asked Anonymous. Well then.
Thanks.
That's funny. That's really funny.
They were sleeping. They didn't hear you reply.
I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. They're sleeping. Where do you see them?
No, because they didn't reply to anything you said when you commented on it.
Dima, are you talking about the trash waste pyramid that they're talking about? Environmental pyramid. I think it's a scam and just basically a joke on humans to make like the biggest pile of trash, just to put it on display of how trashy humans are, basically. Like, there's so many things that need to be changed to make this world a golden age, but just like changing out plastic with hemp, that alone, like, we don't need to have these giant landfills and have all of this trash piling up. Like, there are ways that we can reduce the waste and even, compostable things, right? Like, you could throw it into your garden, and then the next thing you know, potatoes are like, I mean, not potatoes, but like you could put like seeds in the actual container packaging or something that can biodegrade and create new life. So there's a lot of things that need to change to make this world better. And pretty much everything right now is geared to make humans look like the worst ever so that they can justify to the spiritual world depopulating us. And I guess I understand, I try to understand not from a limited human-based perspective, but like from the bigger picture. And if I was a different species and I was looking at humans, I was like, wow, humans are kind of crappy, aren't they? They're completely trashing the earth. Humans are the ones that are spraying chemtrails on us. Like, the Satanist clowns have convinced real humans to jump in that plane and fly over and spray us. Like, humans are the ones that are convinced to do this stuff so that we, again, look bad and they can say that we're the worst and we need to go away. The Jinn, for example, these beings of smokeless fire, like, they don't really produce waste, right? So that alone, they can say that they're superior to humans because they aren't like us. They're a lot more intelligent than us. They live a lot longer than us. Like, the list just goes on, and they use all of these things as justification to kind of, go at our creator sideways and say, you want us out of that? They're eating Tide Pods, and like the boys are dressed up as girls. It's just like, who's gonna bow to that? That's clownery. Anyways, Bob, I sent you that comparison photo of Black Boot on Facebook Messenger. Sweet. Electrical Existence, how's it going? They are so evil, they purposely used our riches and technology to artificially inflate the populations of nations that, if left to their own devices, would not have such high survival rates in order to... We're waiting for another message. I definitely agree with what you are saying already. Using our riches, I don't know if there are riches to begin with, but anyways, they definitely use everything against us, and I think that they gave us the technology in the first place. But yeah, everything is used against us to whatever ways that they can. I don't believe humans came up with, the idea of a computer. I don't believe that humans came up with the game of chess. Like, humans, God really didn't focus on intelligence when he made us. Like, it's just we just need to accept that and just do what we can to make our species more intelligent than combat the stuff that's happening now with the fluoride and the deliberate dumbing down of humanity, right? In the golden age, we need like pure water. We need chess sets in the classroom so that the children are focused on intellectually stimulating things like from the beginning. My future babies will be heavily indoctrinated. Like, I got cute little baby chess books, and like, oh my gosh, I'm just too excited. Extra says America is a huge place, way too many places to see. Might take a year at least to travel all over, right? It might even be more than a year to try to get to all of the, I mean, I don't know how many hidden gems as well. Like there are places all over, even just this area. Like how, I don't even know how long it would take you to go to, if you wanted to go to all of the waterfalls in the area. Like it would definitely take a long time to see it all. That's why we need a golden age of 1,000 years, right? Sage asked Bob if Bob will be returning to Shasta someday. And here we have the rest of Electrical Existence saying that these populations of nations that if left to their own devices would not have such high survival rates in order to use that obviously planet damaging number of people and the resources they consume to justify their depopulation of nations that are their historical enemies and have held them at bay. I don't particularly believe any nations have held them at bay, but the war definitely is humans versus non-humans, and it's every country getting attacked with all of these same things. Every country, like we live in a completely controlled reality. So I know there are some people watching that still have like hope for something in history to be real, and I'm here to take that hope from you today. But I'm giving you another hope in saying that like we are real. We are the ones that came here to change the world, to make the difference. We are the heroes of this story. So stop putting your hope in your, putting these people in the past on pedestals, seeing them with rose-tinted glasses. Like, let's just focus on the here and now and being those heroes for future generations. If we don't stand up and fight what's going on, the train's going to keep going towards their new world order, and our future generations, if they even exist, are going to exist in a really, really evil, even more evil than it is now. And it's kind of hard to imagine, but once they actually, get to the point where they're doing pedo pride, and if you don't agree with pedo nonsense, then you're a bigot, like that's definitely worse than where we're at now. And that's where it's definitely going. So Electrical Existence Nations is a stand-in for races. Well, like I was saying, I believe that it's humans versus non-humans, and ultimately, if you are a real human, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. Like that's the most shallow thing that you could even not like somebody for. It doesn't matter what skin color you are, what place you're from. If you're a real human, ultimately it is us against them. Like it's a species war, not a race thing. And they tried to get us to focus on the race thing so that our species is fighting our own species rather than the clowns that are eating us, right? Race is far more than skin color. Okay. Bob says, hi, Kyle. Thanks for the photo of waste pile. Yes. Very cool. XR says, thoughts about spiritual bloodline transcending racial. Yes, I always say it doesn't really matter what blood you have. It doesn't matter your DNA, your skin color. What matters is the actions that you take. Like you could be a Nephilim hybrid of whatever race is supposedly, whatever they say is undesirable. I don't see any, like God created different races for different reasons, and I don't see them as undesirable or like, if you see the whole picture, it's beautiful. There are different types of people and different races and different, character types, right? There's not any of this. But my point is you could be, a Nephilim of whatever and still, or a Nephilim descendant, I should say, and still make the right choices and be a good person. Like it doesn't matter what your DNA is. It doesn't matter what skin color you are or any of this. So. You say we are the same species, but if all humans are one species, why are East Asian jackals and African jackals are considered a different speciation? I'd have to look into those two specifically because I've not heard it, but if they can reproduce, then they are of the same species. And yeah, I don't believe that like Yah created different species of humans. But there has been hybridization done with other species trying to mix their DNA with humans, and that is, the fallen ones, the Nephilim, that shapeshifted into human form to impregnate human females, and their inverted children are the ones that are running our world today. So there has been different hybridization events, and it's like well known that they have issues, like positive and negative bloodlines have trouble reproducing together. So that goes to show that they are not exactly the same species, or there wouldn't be any issues. Let me look at this. I'm kind of also confused why you're bringing up jackals when we're talking about humans anyways, but all of the history that we're given, like cavemen and all of this stuff, like, I don't believe in cavemen. The first humans were highly advanced, and there have also been different claims made trying to tie humans in with monkeys and evolution, and give us this illusion that things are getting better over time, right? Like your ancient ancestors were ooga booga bashing rocks with clubs like complete idiots, right? But in reality, if you actually look at the lost continent of Mu, like they were an advanced civilization that lasted for like thousands of years. Like they were highly advanced. They had advanced technology. They didn't believe in evolution. They didn't believe that they were living on a giant spinning ball. Like they knew what was up. So everything is just an inversion pretty much. And there are a lot of different deceptions that go along with it. Axer says that there's clearly characteristic physical differences between the Eskimo and the African and jungles, yet they have the same spiritual source. Yes, there are different physical characteristics, but at the same time, you could take an Eskimo and someone in the jungle and they could mate and have a baby. So there's not an actual species difference between them. Electrical Existence says, I don't think we know the truth about our origins or evolution. Well, evolution, as Darwin put it, is not even possible. DNA is self-healing. Transgenic elements are spat out of your DNA. Like when genetic engineers try to modify DNA, it constantly seeks to return to normal. And Dr. Lenski observed no speciation by mutation. So the whole concept of evolution is just absolutely a fairy tale, like a bad one at that. Like kind of like Cinderella, but it's like an ape, and then it gets the fairy godmother comes and turns the ape into a human, and Cinderella's in the ball gown. Okay, really retarded. All right, the Israelite says, "Hey, what's going on? How's it going?" Electrical Existence. We don't live on a planet, just so you know. If you want to try to make a scientific point, you need to start with figuring out where we're living. It's on a plane, not a planet. Woohoo. And society hasn't forced me to say that we're all the same species. Society doesn't force me to say anything. The Israelite says, deception is like a root that grows in the mind as a thought. Yeah, just like you can plant a seed of truth, you can plant a seed of deception and corruption. And you're going to say something?
No.
Okay.
He thinks that we live on a planet. Oh, don't tell me you're a flat earthers now.
We know the earth is flat, Electrical Existence. We know it. It's not a belief or think. We don't think it, we know it. You used to be like me. Oh, well, if you used to be like me, then you wouldn't be where you are now. So how would if you were where I am and you are where you're at, like how you literally actually could not be where I am, because you still think you live on a giant spinning ball. So you really have no idea. Sorry, the Israelite was saying, Electrical Existence says, why is it so hard for you to consider that this agenda is not just spiritual, but an agenda derived from a single race to achieve their own goals of domination? I already kind of said that it was one essential group of people, but I don't consider them a race. They're nearly a different species than humans because they have trouble reproducing with us. So, yeah. The Israelite says the deceiver is a living fungus that seek make the humans in it the host to the tree of corruption. I agree with that. Yeah. Sage is posting about how many animals we enslave. Electroresistance says, do you know water can hold genetic information? That's what they said. That's what they say. And says, do you understand convergent evolution? Evolution is not real. And we definitely do not live on a planet. See, electrical existence. How are you going to say that I'm being fooled by anybody? Because you don't even know. Like, you just need to take a breath and calm down. I think you put him in a timeout. Somebody put electrical existence in timeout. All right. We'll just take a deep breath. Go outside and take a nice breath of fresh air. Hopefully there's not too many chemtrails, and just relax. We don't need any drama here. So now that all of their messages have gone away, name change to gravitational existence, please. What are you talking about, Akshar? His comments got deleted, so I don't really know. Kyle's laughing and said Globe had entered the chat. It was actually really cool because Kyle and Sage were basically just flat smacking everybody at the full moon celebration. And usually I'm doing that by myself, but them doing it, like, it definitely is more fun when there's more people doing it. They're like, wow, one person was crazy, but there's actually 3 people that believe the same thing, like right in the same spot. It's like, yay. Axar says presumptuous AF, ask me if we do if water can hold genetic info. LOL, yes. They're trying to teach us. But the thing is, anyone who says planet and that's a globetard still, it's like, you don't even know which way is up, literally. Like, you think that there are people living upside down in relation to you on a giant spinning ball. It's actually what I brought up to someone yesterday when we were at the park playing chess. I'm like, do you really actually believe that people are living upside down in Australia? Like, do you really believe that in your soul? Because that's embarrassing. It really is. I think that most people, once they start to think about it, it's like, it really doesn't make sense. But then they experience that cognitive dissonance from all of their programming. And they probably like had a space pajama, space rocket bed when they were growing up, like a diehard NASA fan. So it keeps them from seeing the truth, unfortunately. Full White says, no, it cannot be flat. Why do you say that? Because it certainly can be flat, and it is. Sage says, well, it cannot be a globe. So what is it? Yes, we'll see. It's not a globe. It's not flat. Maybe it's a donut. The Israelite says that by the solar eclipse of the sun's behavior is to pass faster outside the orbit behind the moon around the center North Pole, where the North Pole Polaris star is that always at the center. Solar event with the moon caused the sunlight to cast a shadow from west to east, which proves the sun is moving faster around Earth's center North Pole than the moon does. I think that the sun and moon have different courses over the earth throughout the year, as do most flat earthers, and that, you know, the height and, I mean, I've seen pictures of the sun underneath clouds, and then I've seen the sun above clouds. So it's like, it's obvious that the sun isn't like staying at one specific height. But yeah, I'm not really, I don't know what you're talking about. The Israelite, yeah. The sun is definitely moving faster than the earth. During the solar eclipse, the sun was darkened from its west side to east side. Interesting, okay. I did not get out and see any of the recent eclipses or any of that, but I do believe that Rahu and Ketu are the causes of eclipse at this point, and it's really cool to see how different ancient cultures kind of talked about these things of having, this monster eating the sun. And Norse mythology, it talks about how these the sun and moon are like pulled by these chariots on their path across the sky, and the horse that's like pulling the moon is like basically slobbering because they want whatever to, like, I don't remember the exact details, but it was talking about why there's dew in the morning, right? And they were attributing it to the moon. And most of us, associate the moon with the wedding light, whereas the sun is drying, and them being yin and yang opposites. So wonder if our friend Electrical Existence will come back. I don't know how long the timeout lasts for.
Let's come back, bud. Where you at?
That's funny. We gotta have at least one troll, don't we? It's kind of crazy that people are still globe earthers in 2022. I woke up in 2015. When did
there are still people waking up at this time, and it does take a little bit of convincing. Some people still haven't even really heard of it, which is
did you live under a rock?
Yeah, they hide it quite well. It's
right.
It's like a little Easter egg for real life.
Even with all the mocking that they do of flat Earth, you'd think that people would be exposed to it. It's like haven't the flat pizza Earth in the solar system hasn't gone to the ends of the Earth yet, mocking flat Earthers like it.
Well, the only time I do hear about it, it's very
Electrical Assistance says, I don't know. Oh, you're no better than the Satanists. If you want another timeout, buddy, because that's all you're gonna do for yourself. Saying that I'm no better than the Satanists is really one of the most ignorant things that anybody's actually ever said to me. So thanks, I guess, for that. Bob says, my moniker is Bob the Vancouverite, as I live in Vancouver, Canada. The border crossing continues to be difficult for the unvaccinated when returning, since I categorically refuse the PCR test. Okay, so they're still doing, you either have to have proof of jabs or a clean test. Dima says, I found you a very smart girl, and I know it. I encourage you to search more and think about the things more on a more wide dimensions, and you will reach your wish of spiritual understanding. Oh, thank you, random stranger. Bob says, I'm hoping to be traveling to Mount Shasta in September by conventional means and bringing other high-profile activists with me. Oh, I didn't know that you were still planning to come, Bob. That's pretty cool. The Israelite says, here the moon is a great helium fusions reactor. There's definitely a lot of theories about what the moon is, being plasma or whatever. Electrical Existence, make sure that you don't write it in a typo if you want to try to say that somebody's not smart, because it just backfires and makes you look funny. That's complete projection right there.
Oh, God. It's not easy to type when you're munching on crayons, is it?
That's funny. Okay, come on, dude. You're comparing with potential human traffickers. I know, right? And also comparing us with corruptors. Like real Satanists have to go along with Satan's agenda, and they corrupt. Like, please go ahead and try to tell me where I have corrupted people, because I only promote purification. And even like I'm actually disliked because I am such a militant vegan and promoter of purifying. Like, I don't do corruption. It's just, come at me, boy. What did he say? Did you put him in timeout, or did he say something?
Yeah, I deleted his message.
Okay. I didn't get to see it. Yay for trolls. How's it going, Dr. Fustercluck? Nat Biden is way too iconic, boyishly reptilian, perhaps. I think that they are all non-human hybrids and inverted. So Biden is a female, and first laddies have all been male, and the others follow suit, including Trump. Kyle says, your entire heliocentric belief is ruled by 666 numerology. It's time to wake up. Yes. I didn't stay in here. He's coming here when I've been like live streaming, and then he'll sit in there and like pull up a video on YouTube and just start playing the video. I'm just like, dude, I'm just sitting in here like doing something. Who's the globetard calling a Satanist? Crayon Muncher. That's funny. You're not smart. That's funny. Extra says his name is Electrical Being, but he thinks we live on a planet that allegedly runs on a system that doesn't acknowledge the ether. So he might as well rename it to Gravitational Being. That's funny. Gravitard. The Israelites said, while the sun's west side was covered by moon's east side, and while the moon travels in front of the sun, west side over to the east, till a full matching up for a total solar eclipse. His effect by this event is only possible by the sun passing behind the moon. This event proves the sun is rotating around the earth faster than the moon. Okay, I got what you're saying. You're so cringe. Oh, do you really think that I care about the opinions of a globetard? You don't even know what's ways up. So any insult that you are actually able to type properly, like your whole reality is based on lies. So your opinion of me is based on a lie. So I mean, like, if you want to say anyone's cringe, look at your own behavior. You are a grown adult trolling me. Like, honestly, are you living in your parents' basement? And honestly, do you eat crayons? Because many of us are actually really curious to know. Beeswax crayon.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you, Electrical Existence. Don't type too fast. Make sure you spell check.
We're the ones live streaming, and you're the one commenting, and we're cringe. Yeah,
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Everything was fine until we called him out for being a globetard, and now it's all like.
Yeah, that's right. Sit down, bud.
Right. That's funny. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. This is a fun live stream, and I'm actually just gonna let this troll just keep going because I'm having fun. Thoughts on vampires and the whole garlic connection? That's interesting. I've never really thought about the garlic connection, but I do believe that there are real vampires, and unfortunately, you know, I don't know how many schools are involved, but my school was Electrical Existence. I'm streaming to more than 10 people, and you're one of them, you clown. Like, you realize that you are adding to the number. Like, get a life. It's really, really sad. Anyways, the real vampires are the ones that are, you know. Let's actually go on Electrical Existence.
I was already doing.
You're gonna go on their actual thing. How many subs do they have?
251.
Oh, 251 subs. That is just so precious. Oh, let's see.
Oh, you upload Squidbillies. Man,
Oh my
so
gosh, you're
woke.
uploading cartoons. You stream to children? That's kind of creepy. That's actually just turned a really creepy corner. Why are you trying to get children's attention? Anything with your face on it, or are you hiding behind cartoons? I would probably too.
Invert alert.
Beautiful diversity. Is that a child? Is that a child right there? Did you really?
That's like a 12-year-old.
Why is there a picture of a 12-year-old and you're calling it beautiful Like, what is wrong with you? I think this person.
Look at that kid. Looks very.
This is
look
really.
at
I know, it's probably him trying to petting this child. This is.
That's like Joe Biden's. Like.
I didn't say I streamed on my channel. Oh, I'm sure you've streamed other places because you're just so popular.
Hands her flowers.
I uploaded those clips for a reason. Yeah, they show what kind of creep you are. Anyways, watch them. Why would I want to watch anything that you produce? You have videos of little girls on your YouTube channel saying beautiful diversity or something. Like, I think that you should be reported for a pedo problem, and they should check your computer. Low IQ, I agree you are. Let's just send this clown on their way. Put user in timeout. Enjoy. Let's focus on the actual people with brains in this chat. Hi, Chris. How are you? Anyways, Akshar, what I was trying to say is that my school did Red Cross blood drives and stuff. And at the time, I thought that I was really doing something good to give them my blood. And now it's just I literally just gave, they could do so much with your blood that besides just drinking it, it's really upsetting if I think too much about it, of how many people think that they're doing good and they're just giving their blood right to vampires. I've read before that they can use saline and stuff rather than doing blood transfusions for a lot of cases. So I would definitely encourage that. I don't like the concept of somebody else's blood being in my body anyways. So the whole concept of a blood transfusion is just weird. Bob says we all got to read extra biblical texts like Inanna, i.e. chapter 72 of the book of Enoch specifies that the sun and the moon are the same size. I love the book of Enoch, the laws of the luminaries, talking about, like I was saying before, the portals and the sun and moon entering through these things. It's really a really cool concept. And yeah. Full White says, do you think that sometimes you go to the extremes with your theories? I just you think so highly of your enemies. I don't think highly of my enemies. My enemy ultimately is Satan being a dude in a dress. I don't know who you're talking about, of who you say that I think highly of. I just know that this is a completely controlled reality. They've been at this for a really long time and they're smarter than humans. I don't know. Let me know what you're talking about. What you mean by think highly of them? Does it come off like I think highly of my enemies? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And look at the comments section. They said your stream was cringe.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a projection.
Are you able to control comment on that too? Or is that just, they're not allowed to comment on my things and now they're going to comment on my video in the comment section? It's about time to just hide them from the channel altogether if they're going to cause problems. All right. Hi, Derek. How are you? The Israelite says, as the boat passes through the water's atmosphere and the wake left behind. Oh, wait. The cause and effect of cyclones and hurricane effect is due to lesser light, sun and moon orbiting around Earth like a speedboat would in the water. Okay, that's an interesting thing. I'd have to look more into that. Yeah. Sage, I agree. That girl looked extremely uncomfortable. The person's channel has some creepy little girl being petted by. What is wrong with this guy uploading cartoons to lure children in, and then it's just weird. Too weird. What a creeper. I agree. Actually says critical thinking helps you from being an emotional maniac. That's hilarious. Too bad. Say that louder for the electrical existence club in the back. That's funny. I can get emotional. I can be an emotional maniac. If someone came after my child, there wouldn't be any critical thinking about it. There would just be me seeing red and then seeing red afterwards, after the event is over too, if you know what I'm saying. I won't say too many violent things on here because I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah. Full White says, I mean that you think that they are so smart. Well, I do believe that they're smart. I mean, they had came up with the globe earth deception. They came up with all of the deceptions that were under. They have manipulated humanity. And even further than that, I believe that Yah, our creator, made other species in general more intelligent than humans. The Nakash, the snakes, they're known for, clever, they're just really highly intelligent. And then it's just over time, he's moved away from this Nakash predatory creation. And now we have an innocent, trusting, little baby human that, you know, would choose to eat a piece of strawberry over a rabbit, right? Ari Goldman, we're just gonna go ahead and hide you because
That's the same person, I guess.
oh, so electrical, whatever your name is, that is just so cute of you that you felt the need to go and get on another account and come and talk to us. It's like the cringe factor just blew through the roof, didn't it? And somebody wants to project their cringiness all over other people. That's funny. Oh, Ari Goldman, you just used disgusting accusations against someone on purpose and knowingly misrepresented them. Oh, didn't you just say that I'm as bad as a Satanist? So you did the same thing to me. So shut up. Like literally, go away. Hide user on this channel. Everybody say bye. All right. The Israelite says, I believe the sun's the less light that take 1 year around the North Pole. I have no idea what you're talking about with that. That there's a greater light that takes 1,000. No, the sun is the greater light to rule the day, and the moon is the lesser light to rule the night. There's no real confusion there. Hey, Lauren K, how are you doing? Hi, mods. Thank you. Yes. Bye-bye, Ari. Yay. Let's just get rid of that clown. So it's not any of the comments on this current video. It's kind of weird. So anyways. Why are you here? Literally no single person in this existence cares about what you have to say, only you. So again, goodbye, electrical existence. We are done entertaining you for the day. Stupid globetards. Anyways, thank you to all of the intelligent people here that are not trolling from your parents' basement while you chomp on crayons. Akshar says, wait, who is Ari addressing again? To be honest, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it's the same electrical outlet. Electrical outlet clown that was who even knows at this point?
They're racist, to be honest. All their videos are to shame other races that are not
are
white.
they?
Yeah, that's the purpose of all their videos.
That's ridiculous. Through cartoons too.
Yeah, so you focus on that, but you don't even know the reality of what the shape of the Earth really is. You think it's a globe going through space that fast, spinning around, revolving around the sun. Makes all
the while Polaris never moves. And you never feel one bit of movement. So I just tried to make sure that this clown wasn't trolling me other places. Yeah. So for the people that are in the chat, I'd like to know when you guys actually became a flat earther. Akshar says, interesting thing, the city I was born and raised in and still live in is the chess capital of India. That's so cool. Do you guys have chess parks and stuff that's set up there? Kind of sounds like a silly question, but we don't have anything like that here. And they actually talked about potentially making a chess park in Reading, but they have a really big homeless population in Reading. So I think that they kind of don't want to create such a hot spot where they will all flock. It's really, really sad that there is such this issue with homelessness. Obviously, it's being done on purpose. Like the powers that be, there are enough resources under the dome here that people don't need to be homeless. They don't need to be going without. But everyone's getting jammed into these big cities and crushed down by the current, 9 to 5 lifestyle. And it really, all it takes is for one bad thing to happen. And a lot of people, they live paycheck to paycheck. And if they lose their job, if they don't have something to fall back on, they're going to be homeless. Like there's just so many ways that something can go wrong and people can end up in this really desperate situation. And like I met this really, really sweet, like not elderly necessarily. She was an older lady, but like she became homeless because she got divorced. So she, was married to a guy, and then it didn't work out and she had nothing left. So she's been on the streets, and it's like she can't really go in for a job interview because she has stuff. Like, is she supposed to leave her stuff outside to get, like, they don't have an address. They don't have a place to go and take a shower and stuff. So it's definitely a really sad situation with the homeless. And then they're treated like less than, and it's just really sad, the whole thing. The Israelites said,
"This is the bridge
Ooh.
that Naveen is talking about. They painted apparently like chess capital of India."
That is really cool. Wow, that's really cool.
I want to go there.
I know. We're all going to Akshar's house. Come on. Anyways, how could the sun be the lesser light if the moon does not put off light? But the moon doesn't reflect the sun's light. The moon produces a completely different light than the sun. If you go outside on a sunny day and you're standing in the direct sunlight, it's going to be really hot, right? And then if you go into the shade, it'll be a lot cooler. The opposite is true when you go out in direct moonlight. Direct moonlight is actually colder. And if you go into the shade, it'll actually be warmer. You can test this for yourself by, I've seen people put like 2 plates outside. One of them is in the direct moonlight and one of them is in shade. And then you take a laser thermometer and actually test the temperatures of these objects after they've sat out for a while. And you'll be able to see for yourself that they are not the same type of light. They're yin and yang opposites, which I think is beautiful. Bob says flat Earth revelation was 2015 for me. Oh, that's so cool. And Anna said the same at a full moon event September 2019. Yeah, and you said yesterday was 2015, right? Mm-hmm. High five, everybody! Woohoo! We're all 2015ers. Bob, do you remember what specifically triggered your awakening? I was already at a place where I was questioning things, and I saw like Mark Sargent's Under the Dome full documentary, and really all I needed to even see was like the depiction of flat Earth, and it kind of like a light bulb moment. It just makes so much more sense. And we've also been through this before, so it's like you already knew that the Earth was flat. It was mainly just a matter of remembering. So that's one reason, some people wake up a lot quicker than others because they've been through this a lot more. And, other factors also, weigh in as well, how fluoridated somebody is, how ready they are for the truth and all that. So, actually, that bridge is really, really cool. RE was a sock account for electrical dipshit who cannot help but get triggered when their fantasy is a challenge. Yes. They're probably wearing their space pajamas and, they have like NASA fan art all over their wall. The big blue marble is their background on their phone. They're like, oh, so beautiful. Derek says 2017, I told my best friend. So cool. And then he finally became one in 2020. I wonder why. That's really cool that you told your best friend and that they actually became a flat earther. I have definitely lost a lot of friendships over flat earth, and a lot of relationships in general have been broken up over the truth, and not just relationships as in like romantic relationships, but friendships, and even further, marriages and actual families being broken up because of finding the truth. But it's such a fundamental paradigm shift. I personally really don't understand the people that I've been in a flat earth group, and this guy I'm engaged to a globe. He didn't say globe tart, obviously. I'm engaged to a globe earther, and I think that we should just all get don't you want children? Like, you want your children to have a globetard as their parent? Like, how can you even have an intellectual conversation with this person? But I guess, not everybody is focused on intellectual aspects as much as I am, but it's like, I couldn't be with a globetard. Like, yeah, not happening. Hi, John. How are you? Sage says to Derek, that's great that you told your friend. Yes, very cool. Kyle said, I was late to the Flat Earth party. Hey, but at least the party's still gone when you arrived, right? We didn't all move on. It wasn't crickets. It was early 2020 for me, yes. I have not ever come across a flat earther who has gone back. The most of flat earth is kind of like the infinite plane. I don't really even feel like real flat earthers go to the concave earth stuff. Like, I don't think flat earthers change their opinions. You're either a flat earth with a dome or you're a flat earth infinite plane, but you stay flat once you go flat. Like, there's no curving water this way or that. Just Dima, you can still watch if you're not a flat earther. That's okay. We appreciate your company here. Bob says, I was consumed by the topic for about 6 months and information was forthcoming. Yep, Mark Sargent is good among others. Dr. Foster Cluck says, I was clue number 6, March 2015. Recommended, probably from watching Bart Sybro, I don't know. I am not sure who that is. At least it's not Bart Simpson. Okay. The Israelite says, well, looking at Sri Lanka is all under siege by the oil industry that got them all dependent and then leave the people high and dry. Isn't that how they do it? They give you all these government handouts to make you keep coming back for more and then get dependent on them. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, you have to get 10 jabs a month to keep this dependency going. You ready? And then, like, you have kids that are dependent on it and stuff too, in their ideal situation, to try to use it against us. So
this is Bart Sabra. He's the one getting punched by Neil.
Okay.
So the astronauts wouldn't swear on the Bible
Right.
that they've actually been on the moon.
Astronauts Gone Wild is usually, yeah.
Well, if you made
Look
the
at
greatest
how
accomplishment,
fake that. It just looks like a girl in a suit. They just all look like inverts to me. Invert show. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Astronauts Gone Wild. Yes, exactly. Yes, okay, let's see. Akshar says at the Israelite, I'm about 400 to 500 miles away from Sri Lanka and everything's controlled. Yes, the mass mob is controlled 100%. Yes, they've been trying to create chaos, right? Their whole order out of chaos, right? Pestilence, famine, war, death, all of these different agendas, and having different aspects to different agendas as well. Like pestilence, not just sending out one jab or one virus, but multiple viruses, and then using 5G to help to lower the immune system and cause other issues. Poisoning our air, poisoning our water, all of this stuff to basically make us really beat down to a place where any of these diseases that they send out will easily kill us, right? And yeah, the war, all of these, the Sri Lanka, and even with Putin, aren't they threatening war with Russia and all of this stuff? Putin's also being promoted as a hero alongside Trump. And I think they had Hulk Hogan in there too as well, which is pretty funny. But yeah, they're trying to give us these fake heroes, and someone was trying to tell me that Putin was such a strong force. It's like, if you actually put a real man in the room in a boxing match with Putin, you would see who has the male parts in the situation, because if Putin would be running like a little girl. Obviously, girls can have aggression to them, but it's like, if you're an FTM and you're pretending to be this big macho man, and then a real macho man comes into the ring with you, it's like you're not going to be pretending to be a macho man anymore because you don't actually want to get into it with that, the guy that you know is going to pound your teeth in. Like, astronauts to the moon. Yes. For those of you who are new to the subject, NASA has a giant swimming pool with the makeup of the ISS in it. So when they want to trick you into thinking that they're going to space, they put on their little diving suits and jump right into the swimming pool. And that's why you can often see bubbles in space, like water bubbles, because they're literally in a swimming pool. There are quite a few, well, at least there were before. I mean, I don't know now with all the censorship, but there's literally videos of bubbles in space that flat earthers have gone through and made like compilation videos of this specific thing happening. So yes, all sorts of fakery is used to trick us. And ultimately, it's really not about money for them when they print money out of thin air. It is about corrupting us and ultimately laughing at us. Like, humans are so dumb, they think they live on a giant spinning ball, and we're not on a giant spinning ball at all. Bob says Bart has made great contributions that debunk the Apollo moon landing. However, he does not seem to be a flat earther. Interesting. I'd have to look into them and transvestigate them fully before I make any other. Like the Nazi, Christian, Catholic, Protestant states with the USSR and USA are setting up for a nuclear Holocaust war. I personally don't believe in nukes, but I do believe that they are trying to start a war, not only with different countries, but different races, different political sides, different sexual identities, different every single thing that they can get us to fight each other over rather than fight them. They're going to use that to their advantage, because at the end of the day, they are highly intelligent. And yeah, Tom Cruise is going to the ISS. Well, I hope that Tom's a good swimmer. There's a mainstream like astronaut drowns in space. Astronaut almost drowns in his own spacesuit. I wonder why. Well, this is actually a video. I don't want to send you on a video because then you'll leave me, and I don't want that. Astronaut drowning in space. Okay. Bob says, my bet is that atomic bombs are real, but not hydrogen bombs. They definitely do have weapons and firebomb and all of these different things that they can do to us. But yeah, I don't believe in nukes. Sage says, at Bob, there are flat earthers out there that want to remain silent pansies about their knowledge to avoid the globe rage. That is what I would label a coward. Say it loud and say it proud. Like, that was one of my favorite things I became a flat earther. Is like, you tell everybody about flat earth. Like, even if you're driving down the side of the road and someone's like, walking, like, the earth is flat. Like, you're like, what? Yeah. But anyways, definitely one of my favorite things to go and tell people that the earth is flat. I remember when I met my ex, I was always told my parents, like, I'm going to go and tell everybody that the earth is flat with him. Like, it was just something that I was like really excited about because I hadn't had that. So being in a truther relationship was definitely like something that I was excited about. And obviously it did not end so well. But I mean, I'm not even fully awake yet. So it's kind of like, why would you even want to rush into something when you don't even have a firm foundation yourself personally? But that's a line from Oasis, the Master Plan, great song. What is Akshar? The astronauts to the moon part or something else? I'm not sure what. I'm not familiar with the song. Anyways, I'll probably get off of here soon, unless somebody says something interesting to keep me on. Crickets. Just kidding. Flat Earth is damage control for NASA. What do you mean it's damage control for NASA? Flat Earth is some truth that you can actually prove for yourself, so I'm not sure what you mean it's damage control for NASA. Say it loud and sing it proud. Okay. Well, that's not where I was getting it from, obviously, since I don't know the song, but I'll have to listen to it later. That's funny. Dr. Fustercluck, I'm confused at what you're saying. Black wash is the druthers. Flat Earth is damn. Like, what are you saying that you're not a flat earther? That you think that flat Earth is not real? Is that what you understand is being said too? I
That's
hope
what's
so.
being said. Yeah. So exposing NASA is
Damage control for
damage
NASA.
control.
I'm confused.
I mean, works like it should.
Axar says, yeah, it has done a lot of damage, but on the whole, more good than bad. Yeah, I don't see how flat Earth. I mean, for some people, it does. Lauren says, if a ball would fall off with gravity, yes. Without gravity, we would fall off. Gravity is the necessary lie to keep all of the water on their giant spinning ball. Dr. Fustercluck, I'm still waiting on your response because you're not exactly being clear if you're a flat earther or not. You better identify yourself before we start to ridicule you. Just kidding. Damage being it has been a hive mind of misinfo. Yes. Yeah, what I was going to say, Akshar, is that it does, like, all of the misinformation that they've put out about flat Earth, for some, has definitely solidified their faith in NASA, it seems. Like, NASA fanboys are coming out of the woodwork. Dr. Fustercluck, true or not, it makes you a fool to most. Well, thankfully, I don't care if clowns think that I'm a fool because they don't know which way is up. And the flat earthers, the flat earthers obviously don't look at me as a fool for speaking the truth. So I guess I'm more worried about looking like a fool to the people that actually know the truth than to the clowns who don't. And even then, I really don't care because caskets don't come with bunk beds, and being worried about what other people think rather than just standing up and speaking the truth just really is not my thing. Bob says in 2015, Michael Tellinger, anyways, Mr. Ubuntu, I don't know how to say that, also came to the conclusion of our stationary flat plane realm. He slammed it shut after talking about, I'm not sure who Michael Tellinger is. I don't know a lot of people.
We created something for Linux, the Ubuntu, something like that. I don't know.
Oh. South African author, politician, explorer, and founder of the Ubuntu Party, which supports the supply of free resources across society. He has led a campaign against banks and central banks and championed pseudo-legal ideas to obtain money from financial institutions, supposedly. Oh man, they're saying that they're a promoter of Zachariah Stitchin's idea. No, Stitchin was a misinformation agent that went off on their own, completely divorced from what the actual Sumerians believe. So let's see what they're saying about this. He's also a promoter of pseudo-archaeology influenced by Zachariah Stitchin's ideas of ancient astronauts. So that'd be an interesting to see. They believe that Adam's calendar is an alien-built structure at the center of a network of stone circles. Interesting. What's Adam's calendar? Where is that before? It's kind of cute. It's the oldest man-made structure in the world. Ooh, does anybody believe that? Okay, sometimes referred to as the African Stonehenge. It predates both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza. Scattered throughout the mountains of South Africa are thousands of stone circle ruins, over 20,000 known by elders. And they're trying to say that this is potentially the birthplace of Adam, the first man. From my research, the motherland of man was actually Mu. So I personally stick with that, but I can't really turn the computer. But this is the Adam's calendar that they're talking about if you want to look. It will unplug, so. Okay. Dr. Fuster-Cluck says, seems true to me. I agree. It's true, and you can prove for yourself. The Israelite says, fact, if you take two magnets, one disk and a larger and more powerful magnet ring around the disk and point north parallel, I think is what you mean to say, up and a second magnet and spin it clockwise over the disk, it will never fall. Okay. Full White says sphere is more logical. Hopefully you meant to say not logical, because the giant spinning ball Earth is not logical at all. Like, what's logical is that we're all on a flat plane, and like the people in Australia are standing over here, and then the people in the United States are standing here, and up is up and down is down, and everything actually just makes so much more sense on a stationary plane. Extra says illogical. Yes. Derek says, I love debating with people now because I don't lose. NASA stole billions from taxpayers. That's why SpaceX is private. They are scrambling. Well, at least some people love debating. I kind of just am over debating at this point. It's like, if you want to believe that you live on a giant spinning ball and that you are related to unicorns, like, I can't stop you from being a clown. Like, that's just your own issue. I'm not a fan of debating any longer. Dr. Fuster-Cluck says Bart is a flat Earth light, but keeps the gate closed. Lauren K says, what do you think of planets and astrology? I think that as far as planets go, them being wandering stars, but definitely having different energies associated with them, and astrology is really fascinating, although I haven't really dug too deep into flat Earth astrology. Obviously, modern astrology is based on the giant spinning ball Earth and, Pluto and Neptune and Uranus, which is literally a sodomite joke, like in the word Uranus. The ancient cultures didn't recognize those. And there are still some Eastern cultures today that only recognize Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn because they can be seen with the naked eye. So I think that there are definitely a lot of truths written in the stars, but our interpretations of them, the ones that we are given at least, are not always right. And especially when it comes to like horoscopes and stuff, people are really heavily manipulated through that area. Dr. Fuster-Cluck says, Potato Lady steered us over with the crazies. Yes, I assume that you mean Patrick Steer. Yeah. No comment further. The Israelite says, the Israelite Zion Essene Zadok, I don't know, worked for the Second Zion temple to rule from the heavens, known by the Holy Ghost. Interesting. Akshar says, from my speculation, the motherland of self is the place where the void meets primordial light. Haha, metaphysical. Interesting. Okay. The Israelite says, we know the ancient Horizon Empire set these fallen democracies to stone 2,300 years later when God's righteous Mosaic's heavenly Zion Empire, that's like a mouthful, returned from the heavens. Okay. Full White says, why no one ever been to the edge if the planet is flat? the earth doesn't have an edge any more than this room that I'm in has an edge. Like we're in an enclosed realm. So like when you get to the end, it's like you're going to run into the dome. There's no edge that you could fall off of unless you want to go to the Grand Canyon. And I wouldn't suggest that because it's not going to feel good. It's going to hurt.
Where's the edge of the universe?
Well, it's an interesting question because I don't really believe that the edge of the universe, like the concept of the universe having an edge doesn't even make sense to me. It's like
it's just speculation. It's just implying.
It just doesn't make sense.
There must be an edge on Earth. Why not?
Yeah. So there's a wall. Yeah, it's like we're inside of an enclosed realm, like basically like inside of a snow globe. Pretty cool. With waters above that, could potentially flood down at us at any moment. Just really absolutely safe place. Perfect.
Well, like the Israelites said, they referred to it as Middle Earth. I like that.
Gotcha. Is this edgy though? Dr. Fustercluck says. That's funny. Yeah, so basically imagine like a snow globe and we're inside of it, just without the water being inside, thankfully. And yeah, our creator created this beautiful terrarium for us to exist in, and it is one of a kind. Outside of this realm is only ether, and that's what our souls are made of as well. And the ancients refer to the cosmic ocean. So the whole concept of the yellow being in this yellow or gold submarine makes, because we're in, this ocean of ether, if you will. It's kind of cool how they just like almost an occult truth, like physical water with the astronauts and the spiritual waters above. I don't know. But anyways, Dr. Fustercluck, I agree, and I'm not going to read your comment out loud. Axar says, could be linguistic hijacking and bastardization. Oranos was the Atlantean god of the sky who mated with Gaia to give birth to the Titans. I completely, absolutely agree 100% with the demonization of Oranos, or however you want to pronounce that, and being turned into Uranus, and as a disrespectful thing specifically to the sky god, Akshar says, do we work our way up Jacob's ladder and gain access to the edge, or do we pirate our way there like Andrea Barnes? I am not sure who Andrea Barnes is. Let's see if they're an invert or not. Oh, geez. I'm not sure who this. A worldwide known actress and model. Well, there you go.
Allegedly an actress.
Well, yeah, and which one is it? Because there's actually multiple. There's a blonde with like a man head, and there's a red head with a man head. So I'm not really sure which is which. I'm not sure which one you're talking about then, because there's multiple Andrea Barnes characters here. So you have to be a little more specific there, actually. Ocean of ether. Cool. Yes, exactly. The cosmic ocean. All right. I think I'm going to head off of here. It's been very fun to chat with you guys. And do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, still flat.
Yep. Still flat. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining me. And like I said, Tuesday night, I'm not 100% sure what time the Reading Chess Club meets, maybe around 6 or something. So stay tuned, because I'm going to go live from there, and you'll get to see Sage play in real life. So stay tuned. Woohoo! May God and the Goddess bless you.